Hey, Traveler. Paimon.
Oh, Paimon knows that voice!
Over here. To borrow one of the more popular turns of phrase at the moment, this appears to be quite the fated reunion. Running into you two out of the blue like this has really made my day.
You can say that again. Wait, Paimon's got it! You must be here for what—
Actually, we've run into a bit of trouble on the home front, so Father arranged for us to stay in Poisson.
Oh, are Lynette and Fremine here too?
Yep, along with most of the other members of the House of the Hearth. You may have noticed Poisson seems a bit more—
So you're saying nearly the entire organization has moved to Poisson? Sounds like you've run into way—
Since the two of you are so curious, perhaps I can fill in the gaps.
You scared Paimon half to death!
Father, you're here.
You know, on second thought, maybe we don't need to know. It's all probably super confidential House of the Hearth stuff, right? We totally weren't trying to pry or anything.
No need to be nervous. I could sense your genuine concern from your conversation just now. Of course, I can also understand your confusion. Sending so many Fatui here to Poisson, it's only natural that some might I understand. I'm well aware you've had your fair share of confrontations with the Fatui in the past, and I can't exactly guarantee that we'll remain on good terms in the future. As for right now, however, I would say we have little reason to be at odds, wouldn't you agree? The House of the Hearth could stand to be more— As for the issue at hand, well, it hardly relates to any ulterior motive. To be frank, it all stems from a certain rumor circulating around—
What?
A rumor that a certain phantom child is hiding away in the House of the Hearth.
A phantom child? Ooh, just hearing the name is giving Paimon the creeps.
A spirit that should have long ceased to exist is lurking in the shadow. So I decided to bring the children to Poisson before continuing to investigate the situation. I expect I should be able to track down the spirit fairly quickly. After that, it's just a matter of resolving the situation, if you will. It shouldn't be much trouble. If you're curious, or if you still have some concerns, it might be advisable to stick around for a few days. Lenny, I'll leave you to entertain our guests.
Of course, Father. It has long been a dream. You're quite well known in the organization already. A lot of people have been talking about you, especially after everything with the prophecy. If you're willing, why don't you stay a while and have a little—
Alright. We don't have anything else to do right now anyway. But let's be clear, we're just gonna be there as guests, okay? Don't get any funny—
Of course. During our stay in Poisson, we've been helping out the locals with some fishing. We bring in quite the— Let's go. We rented this house from one of the locals to use as a temporary base. I'll come back—
Awesome! Thanks!
Well, when I happen to run into you two. With this many people staying in Poisson, we have to bring in outside supplies every now and then. I should probably make sure—
Okay, we'll come with! There are all sorts of rumors about your but now that we finally have the chance to see a day in the life of the house, we can take—
Well, you're more than welcome.
Linny! We're finally here. The supplies.
Brought them with me? Hello?
It's the Traveler and Paimon!
No No way! Come here, everyone! Hurry! The Traveler and Paimon are here!
One at a time, please. Don't crowd around.
Oh, it's Of course! Father and Linny have told us so
Father told us about how you helped Linny. According to her, you're a trustworthy friend. And as far as she's concerned, that's pretty much the highest compliment we've ever heard her give. As you can imagine, everyone's been very curious about you.
I heard the Traveler is so strong. I heard Paimon eats so much that she can clean out the entire Wait a second! That's the rumor you heard about Paimon? Oh, wait! When guests visit... Oh, we don't need something like... Come on! We insist... Huh? Or maybe Shaplo can teach you guys about...
Now that's not a bad idea. I know you usually prefer to fight head-on, but it never hurt. I was poisoned not too long ago.
Wait, when you said gifts... But those are the best things we can give you. Ooh, how about this? Tell me the name of some...
All right, Fold, Selwar. I think that's enough suggestions for now. When it comes, you don't need a physical gift to make our guests happy. In fact, pestering them with suggestion after suggestion might make them...
Really? Awesome! It's been so long since we've had... Yeah, especially if it's poison.
Well, we'll talk to you.
All right, see you later.
Bye! Lenny, about all that poison...
Scared you, did it? When Foltz was really young, he strangled all of his family pets. Just out of curiosity. He was labeled a dangerous problem child. Elwar has an unnatural obsession with potions. Father has forbidden her from trying all the different concoctions she comes up with, but she still tries to test the... Chaplot is around my age. While I'm mainly responsible for collecting intelligence, he handles surveillance. He's very passionate about his work and has no reservations about taking on some very difficult missions. I know you two probably aren't used to that kind of talk, but I can promise you they only had the best of intentions. Things like stealth tactics. Filial, supplies are here.
Thanks. And who...
Allow me to introduce you.
Oh, you're the famous duo I've been hearing. It's nice to meet you. I heard you've...
Of course! We're making...
Oh.
You must be pretty familiar with Fontaine by now, then. Have you seen the new opera that...
Oh, this is the first...
It seems like it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, and there's... After this mission is...
Oh,
is it just Paimon, or do these two seem much...
I heard that.
Oh!
I'm guessing you're referring to Foltz and the...
I bet those crazies are practically foaming at the mouth right now.
That's enough, Filial.
Don't talk about family members behind their back, right?
Guess this is goodbye then.
Well, that's it for the supply.
Well, they didn't seem too happy with each other. Seems like there could be something more going on here. You're right. We're only here... Oh, Linny's...
Looks like there's more trouble in...
Hey, just focus on the positives.
So, what do you think of... Well, Father is always encouraging us to be strong-willed and independent. So if there's one thing we've got, it's people... Well, I should probably get cooking.
Of course!
Then let's head out and... Fremine? What are you doing here?
Well,
Fremine!
You too.
We were just going to make some food. Why don't you come along? I could use some help in the kitchen, and I seem to remember you mentioning you want... Were you looking for something just...
It's...
Yeah, we've got some left over.
some food and...
No problem. Give me a second here. Food... Wait a minute. What do you need all of those for? You're not on any missions as far as... Fremine, you remember what I told you? You're not... Tell me what's going on. Is it really bad enough that you have to keep...
Maybe it'll be better.
This is the first time I've seen that...
Just...
You're back!
Hello, my name's Linny.
Hi, Linny. I'm also a child of the House of the Heart. You can call me Clairvy.
Clairvy?
It's nice to meet you. Does that name ring any bells?
No, not at all. That's not a name we have on our... She must be the phantom child Father's been searching for. From the looks of it, I'm guessing you were the one that found her, Fremine.
No, I haven't told anyone.
For how long?
About...
So ever since we got to Poisson, then?
I know what I'm doing.
Really? 'Cause from where I'm standing, it looks like you're hiding the very person Father has been trying to find. If Father finds out about this, everyone involved is going to be punished. You know the rules of the house, Fremine. I know you do. Father doesn't tolerate any form of betrayal. So why are you doing this?
I've thought it through. And I just can't hand her over like that. Linny, don't you remember last year? Sheplo nearly died after getting poisoned. That night, while I was sleeping, I heard a voice telling me to go save him. I opened my... That feeling of being haunted, of hearing voices.
So what you're saying is, that was her? She was the one who spoke to you that night?
Unless there are other spirits roaming around the House of the Hearth, I don't think there's any other possibility. If Clairvy were our enemy, it wouldn't matter whether she was a spirit or an actual child. I would have acted without a second thought. But she's been living with us, helping us from the shadows. I couldn't just hand her over to be dealt with.
So what's your plan then? You can't keep her here.
I haven't thought that far yet.
Come with me. There are a couple things I'd like to say to you in private.
Those two sure care a lot about each other. Well, they got a funny way of showing it. No way. They have a really deep bond. I could tell right away. I just don't know how long that kind of bond can last. The darkness in the house runs...
I'm sorry, Linny.
Oh, really? You didn't mean to?
Huh?
You know, when we were younger, you didn't call me Linny. We grew up together, the three of us. We were all orphans, all rescued by Father. Later on, when you started calling me Linny, I wasn't actually surprised.
Linny...
The darkest and most difficult moments of my life happened before you and I had ever met. I'm sure that's true for you as well. Even you and Lynette are the most important people.
Oh, looks like things are getting kind of heated between Linny and... Oh, it's raining. I should put my clothes away. Perry? Huh. Looks like she's not here either. It's time to eat. Hey, you two! Hope we aren't interrupting anything. Like a fight, or Wait a minute, Fremen. Well, we're all friends here, right?
It's just a small family dispute. It's not something our guests should trouble themselves with.
What are you getting at, Traveler?
When guests are around, families are often on their best behavior. And any disputes are less likely to escalate. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it? I just... Thank you. I was really hoping to keep you out of it. But even if I could think of some other reason to turn you away, I'm not sure I could convince you. I know things could turn dangerous, so I promise you this. From now on, I'll protect you like my life depends on it.
Me too.
Well, back to the matter at hand then. If we don't plan on handing Clairvy over to Father, then our only other option is to solve the mystery of her identity before Father is able to track her down. That means finding out where she came from and what she's doing here. Then we can send her on her merry way and pretend like none of this ever happened.
I've tried that.
And?
And... nothing. I tried... She even came with us all the way to Poisson. It seems like wherever the house is, she follows.
I don't know much about...
Let's see here. Paimon remembers hearing something like, if you fulfill a spirit's last wish before they died, they'll let go of whatever's keeping them here and return to the ley lines. Oh, it's just that Paimon doesn't really remember where she heard that, so it's not guaranteed to work or...
Well, sounds like it's worth a shot. Guess that means we should go ask her about her wish. But first, Fremine, I need you to promise me something.
What is it?
I need you to promise me that this will stay between the two of us. We're the masterminds behind this whole thing.
Of course.
All right. Then let's seal the promise just like when we were kids. Fist bump on 3. Ready? 1, 2...
I swear.
Whoa!
Lynette!
But what a surprise! What brings you here, dear sister? And, when exactly did you get here?
You're an idiot, brother. And you too, Fremine. You 3, Traveler.
Wait, what did we do?
I've seen Clairvy around the House of the Hearth before. I hadn't seen her in Poisson, so I figured she must not have come with us. But it turns out you were just hiding her. I heard you talking about your plan. Rather than steering clear of the situation, I'd rather fully join in. If you don't agree, I'll have no choice but to report everything back to Father. Simple as that.
You're not giving it... Well, I guess we're all in this together then. There's no time to lose.
I'm full. She said she's full, but the food doesn't look like it's even been touched.
That's right. Still, when she's presented with food, she'll always linger.
Does she know that she is a...
I've tried to ask her, but she didn't answer.
Clairvy, if you've got some time...
Sure. Oh, another new friend.
Hello.
Clairvy, how did you...
Huh? The knave brings you here and then you...
It's just that... you're...
The roster? Oh, the people in charge. They're not as nice as they look. In this house, some people are family and... Wait,
Is there anyone that can vouch for you?
Perry, she's my best friend. She's the only one I trust in this place.
Have either of you heard of that?
No.
Me neither.
Clairvy. But it seems like she's telling the truth. Maybe we should It can be anything you want. Just imagine. It's your birthday, you're blowing out the candles.
To where the sun can find me. That's it? Well, that sounds easy enough. The darkness in the house.
Okay, time to divide and conquer. I'll try and find a way to use basic illusory magic to take Clairvy out. Lynette, try and find the list of executions that Clairvy was talking about, and see if her name is on it. Fremine, you stay in Poisson. We can't be the only ones who've had run-ins with Clairvy. I need you to...
Understood.
I'll try my best.
What about us?
I really appreciate your willingness to help, but this is... Let me think. Since Father considers you to be...
Ah, Paimon gets it.
I'll give you a magic bird. If Father suspects something, all you need to do is release it when... Of course, that's only as a last resort. If Father doesn't seem to notice, if the worst-case scenario happens and we're discovered, just tell Father everything. You too. I really hope this goes well. Clairvy, I'd like to take...
It's the knave! And... child! Hey, aren't you supposed to be in Snezhnaya recuperating? What are you still doing in Fontaine?
Oh, it's you two. I didn't expect to run into you here. I was unconscious for quite a while after the fight in the Primordial Sea. After I woke up, I realized I was being taken back to Snezhnaya, and well, I couldn't have that now, could I? Not when I've still got unfinished business here in Fontaine.
What sort of unfinished business are we talking here?
It has to do with Skirk, my master. I really wanted to meet up with... I still have so many questions for her. Without any other leads...
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, no. While the House of the Hearth is adept...
Basically, unless Master feels there's a need to meet with me, she's not going to be found. But that problem has an easy fix. I just need to become stronger, and then...
Paimon thinks you should focus on getting better first.
The worst of it is over. It's all thanks to that one kid from the House of the Hearth. Elwar, I think her name was. She gave me a bunch of random potions to drink. They didn't go down easy, let me tell you. Pain and chills all over. But they really did help speed up my recovery. And that's good, because it looks like I really do have to head back this time. The old man's been putting the pressure on me. He sent someone to tell me I'm needed for some sort...
Project Stuja?
Yeah, that's the one. I heard Regrader's involved too. I'm not looking forward to having to listen to all his monologuing, that's for sure. Hey, maybe you could think of a way for me to stay in Fontaine for a little longer. Helping Linny and the others brush up on their fighting skills would be far more interesting. If you and I could spar, that would be even better. I've been waiting for a chance to see you go all out.
And what a sweet little daydream that is. But I also have a role to play in all this. I'll be leaving Fontaine shortly as well. Besides, considering how little they see fit to step outside the homeland, being called on to return to Snezhnaya by such illustrious dignitaries, what a great honor, wouldn't you?
One I could do without, I'd say.
Is it just Paimon? Or does it kind of seem like they're...
So, dear guests of the House of the Hearth, to what do I owe?
Well, right. We're super close to Linny and the others, but...
Is that so? Introductions?
Oh, well, you see?
Good question.
The fact that you have to ask tells me our intelligence work has been quite successful. Telling you the answer to that question would only serve to undermine that success.
Spoken like a true diplomat. That was some expert sidestepping.
Well, if there's nothing else, I think I'll take my leave. I still have a small matter to resolve.
Wait, don't go!
I've met some of the members of your organization, and they all seemed like... Which, by the way, if you ever betray them...
And why would I betray...
Well, you've already betrayed the House of the Hearth once, haven't you? Okay, I admit. That's just what the old man told me. The rooster, I mean.
Wait, did you really do
Never mind what I've done. I'm more curious as to what the mighty rooster had to say.
Well, nothing much. Just some stuff about you taking out many other members of the House of the Hearth. Based on your reaction...
Hardly. I don't appreciate his particular turns of phrase. But I suppose he'd... Although, it would be more accurate to say that there is a certain level of prejudice involved. But I don't intend to clear that up just yet. Prejudice has a funny way of concealing the real... Call yourself a Fontainian, for example, and people will assume all sorts of things when the...
Huh? You're not actually from Fontaine? But then...
I was trying to protect the children born in Fontaine. Claiming that I myself was a Fontainian simply made it easier to operate. People would hardly suspect a fellow Fontainian of having any ulterior motives. Who wouldn't want to save their homeland? The primordial sea wouldn't have any effect on me, but it would have caused great harm to the House of the Hearth. Well, you wanted extra information, didn't you?
So, you stayed in Fontaine for the kids. I guess I was wrong to believe you'd betray them. Apologies. Looks...
Good. Like I said, I like it when others have misconceptions.
Actually, while I was recuperating, I heard that members always resolve disputes and arguments with a friendly spar, and the loser has to back down. Seems pretty cool if you ask me. Would also...
Well, that's only a recent development. In the past, such spars weren't nearly so... friendly.
They were that high stakes?
Well, the current atmosphere's not half bad. I'm a bit jealous at...
Having a lot of family around means dealing with a considerable amount of bickering and scheming. Once Tonya and Tusser enter their rebellious phase, I'm sure you'll understand. Just imagine. Tusser becomes obsessed with plucking out strands from the rooster's mustache, or Tonya decides to dye her hair 42 different colors.
Okay. Well, would you... Traveler? Paimon?
Again?
All right.
No thanks necessary. You also played a part in obtaining the Gnosis.
I like the sound of...
We should probably get going too.
Oh? I'm rather enjoying the evening breeze, if you don't mind. Apologies for not attending to you like a proper host.
We managed to keep her distracted until nightfall. Good thing Child was there to keep the conversation going. You don't think she suspected anything, do you? Oh, I wonder if Liddy ran into any issues.
Oh?
How did everything go?
Well, long story short, we ran into Everything was fine at first. But as I led her out of the shadows and into the sunlight, she vanished. I turned around and there she was, standing at the edge of the shadows, silently watching me.
Huh. Maybe she's afraid of sunlight, or... Well, we could always try... Oh, true.
I've pretty much tried it all already. Nothing worked.
Good. I've got...
Really? Oh, that's a lot of pages. Oh, it's gonna take forever to...
We can each take a section. Here.
La Pouillade. Oh, yikes. That are rare.
Huh.
Did he...
Well, I asked if there... It was only later that I learned he really did have someone he liked. He risked everything to escape.
Wait, so that...
It may seem cruel, but betrayal is not to be taken lightly. We know too many secrets to come and go as we please. Her name's not here, huh? Well, let's shift our attention then. Fremine, were you able to find any... Fremine...
I managed to talk to quite a few people, but
Strange.
Yeah, I mean, I know there have been...
Oh, those are two of the people that we met while delivering...
That's to be expected, actually. Father brought us all here, shared her knowledge with us, taught us how to fight. That's one thing we all share. As members of the House of the Hearth, we're also considered part of the Fatui. Certain members get older and realize they want something else for themselves. People like Chaplot and Foltz are loyal to Father and her vision. They're proud to be part of the Fatui. Filial and Nantoy, on the other hand...
These kinds of conflicts have always...
Well, that's true. But it just feels like things... I can't say for sure, but I think they've met Clairvy.
You think she's been inciting them to act?
No, not exactly. But I wouldn't... She's told me about it before. Experiments.
And they just believed all that?
Clairvy's words probably gave them the excuse they were looking for.
This is all...
Whoa. What's this Project Stooja all about?
Sorry, but I'm not sure if I only know what Father has told us, which is that it's something the Rooster and Regrator have been working on together. Apparently, it has to do with the Fatui's strategic plan for the future. Because the House of the Hearth was so successful in obtaining the Gnosis, we now have the honor of playing a key role in Project Stooja.
Wait, but isn't that a...
Key role is just another way of saying dangerous role. To us, the whole thing is an inconvenience. Father thinks so too, but she's in no position to refuse. Their plan isn't exactly unreasonable, and they've been funneling the house a lot of fun. It's just that we'll lose a lot of members in the process. Participating in the plan,
Okay, super complicated top secret Fatui business aside, what does all of this have...
External pressure has a way of exacerbating internal strife. You can't overlook the power of fear either. I thought resolving the Clairvy situation would make everything go back to normal, but it looks like things are more complicated than I thought.
We can only focus on one situation at a time, brother.
You're right. Even if we confront Filial and the other... Well, it's getting late. Lynette, you stick with me this time. Fremine, keep a close eye on Filial and the others. Good work today, everyone. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
She's even scary when she smiles. If she were to actually get angry... Ooh, you have to protect Paimon if that happens, okay, Traveler? Trust is... Look! Look over there! Quick! Let's catch up with her before anyone sees! Over there! Oh, where is she going? Oh, if someone sees her, we're toast! Oh, look! She stopped! Clairvy! Shh! I opened the window and look how pretty the outside is. If only I could have more than this. You probably think I'm being silly, huh? Please, help us get on the same page here, Clary. Sure. Everyone in this family is nothing more than a tool as long as you're useful. You're saying that it's just... That doesn't seem like something she would do. She's... I knew you. Everyone thinks she's a good person. Mother? But she doesn't deserve that title. She's disgraced it, and if only Perry were here, she'd understand. Perry? Also, Paimon's... It almost feels like she's not really here with us. Paimon can't tell if she's actually talking to us or if she's mistaken us for some... Well, in any case, it seems she looks so young. It's getting... Ooh, look at the moon! Isn't it pretty? Hey, wanna hear a secret? Perry and I promised each other that once we're older, we're gonna go see it together. But I can't find her. I'm worried she's also been... No, that wouldn't happen to her. She's special. Mother likes her. I should really go talk to Mother. But we just fought. She doesn't want to see me. And what should I do? Well, let's head back.
All right, looks like we're all here. Let's go.
Oh? What is it?
What makes you ask that?
Well, we met the doctor back in Sumeru. He's super dangerous. And he's done all sorts...
It's possible that Father and the Doctor have had We're not really on the same side, so there's not a lot of trust between them. I did hear, though, that when Father first became a Harbinger, the Doctor offered to work with the... Father rejected most of his proposals, except for...
Secret experiment? Could that...
I don't think so.
I don't know any details about the experiment itself, but I do know it's an entirely independent operation. The Doctor only proposed to direct. The details of the experiment are confidential, but complete records are kept on all participants. That doesn't seem to be the... I know you don't agree with some of the Fatui's methods, and I'm not asking you to. But I am asking you to trust us on this.
Alright, that's good. Clairvy seems to think the knave and the doctor worked together to do something horrible. It's just that it doesn't seem like the easiest thing to do would be just ask the knave directly, but...
Father didn't come. Lynette, you're with me. Fremine, you know what to do. All right.
Ah, it's you two again. I must say, you look Perhaps if you had less on your mind, you'd be able to absorb. So what are you planning to do now? Catch up on some sleep? Or should I give you some time? Although I must profess to being curious. Without child here, how do you plan on
Us? Distract you?
Looks like you could have used some extra time to think. No matter. Don't worry. I'll be sure to steer clear of any scheming children.
The ocean breeze is sure...
Children always think they can hide things from the grown-ups. But nothing gets past me. Least of all a little scheming. I think I'll let them have at it for a little longer. I can be very patient. Well, I'll leave you to think things over. If you're so inclined, meet me outside the Palais Mermonia. Good things come to children who do as they're told. So I do hope you decide to tag along. If only for your...
What should we do? She clearly knows about everything we've been doing, and Paimon doesn't think it'd be a stretch to say she was threatening us. Oh, good idea. Well, we should probably head to the Palais Mermonia. Paimon doesn't want to find out what happens if we don't show up. Based on what the knave... Okay, then we probably shouldn't keep her waiting.
Seeing as we still have some time before my meeting, I'm glad to see you get along with my children. Being surrounded by...
You're not planning on...
I assume you're referring to Lenny, Lynette, although there's that situation with Filial and Nentoy as well. No matter. I'm not one to discriminate. All those who betray the house meet the same fate.
Does that mean you're going to kill them?
Oh, are you here to beg for their lives?
But don't you care about them at all?
Any organization in which feelings come before principles is one destined for ruin. The House of the Hearth is hardly... Perhaps I can offer you this consolation at least. As our guests, I would imagine Linny, Lynette, and Fremine will... As for Filial, Nentoy, and the others, I'm afraid there's little I can do. They can... Ah, you seem concerned. If Linny and the others manage to dispose of Clairvy in the meantime, all evidence of... If their efforts are unsuccessful, on the other hand, all will be held accountable. And the punishment will... Of course. Oh, and here, I believe this belongs to you. It takes a considerable amount of time to train a bird.
Wait, where did you get that?
Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have to chat. I asked you to meet me here because I have business at the Palais Mermonia. It has nothing to do with you, but I think it would be prudent for you to stick by my side for the time being. Well, time to go. It's been a while, Monsieur Neuvillette, I must say. I wasn't expecting my meeting request to be approved quite so quickly. The Palais Mermonia operates with an efficiency worthy of—
It is only right that an esteemed diplomat such as yourself should be afforded the proper level of respect. Although, if I may speak plainly, I must confess that I did not anticipate we would have the occasion to meet again after presenting you with the Gnosis. I see you brought the Traveler and Paimon with you as well.
I'll be departing Fontaine shortly. There is, however, an outstanding matter that I would— It requires a rather lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. So I took the liberty of explaining everything in the—
I understand your request. However, at the risk of causing offense, I must admit that I fail to see—
I heard you have a certain fondness for water tasting, Monsieur Neuvillette, so allow me to use water as an analogy. A family is like a large body of water with countless rivers flowing in and out. As someone who watches over this system, I would hope that each river that flows from the source will eventually reach the— Of course, objectively speaking, I know this is impossible. Most of the rivers will dry up along the way, disappearing into the ground and leaving nothing but a— Not all rivers are destined to reach the ocean, but I would not see their existence rendered meaningless. I believe the water that flows within them is simply meant for a different destination, like a field in need of irrigation. Or perhaps the—
Did you get any of that, Traveler?
Your words paint an optimistic picture indeed. Allow me to remind you, however, few—
It may have been tainted at one point in time, but not to worry. I'll make—
I seem to recall there being a transactional aspect to your proposal. Perhaps you could expound on that?
If you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I will gradually withdraw my forces from Fontaine, and, unless absolutely necessary, I will no longer carry out any special missions within Fontaine.
I presume I can take your words to mean that, in the future, cases similar to the Tartuffe assassination will cease to cross my desk.
Tartuffe? Ah, that thief who embezzled funds from all those charities, you mean? My deepest condolences to his family, but without any evidence. Of course, if you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I'm sure certain measures could be taken to reduce the frequency of such trouble.
You choose your words carefully indeed. In that case, I'm inclined to accept your proposal.
My thanks for your generosity, Monsieur Well, with that settled, we should be going now. I took the liberty of bringing along 2 bottles of spring water from Snezhnaya for you to enjoy.
Indeed. I trust you would not overlook your commitment.
All right, Traveler Paimon.
I believe I've told you before that my emotions easily rest. Yet in the few meetings I've had with that Harbinger, I haven't been able to sense any aspect of her emotional state. Her mind is like a still body of water. Who knows what darkness lies in its depths? and the lack of ripples on the surface gives nothing away. It's unclear whether this is her natural state of being, or whether it's an incredible strength of will that gives her the ability to master her emotions. Either scenario, however, suggests she is a very dangerous individual. I do not expect an explanation as to why you two are by her side, whatever your reasoning.
Laid bare.
So, what exactly were you Paimon only heard you mention some rivers, a large body of...
You really want to know? I would imagine there might be...
Lenny, Paimon really hopes everything's going... Oh, Paimon recognizes that look. You've got your thinking cap on, don't you?
Oh, shoot. Are you alright? Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. I was so focused on selling the... Well, let me make it up to you at least.
Oh, you don't have to give us...
Please, I want to. It's my fault.
What's going on here?
Nothing much. I just ran into your friend here.
Hold on.
Of course, I'm happy to compensate you with...
I'll take 3 papers.
Oh! Thank you. If only I had the chance to run into such generous customers every day. I should probably just take on a smaller inventory, though.
Well, now that my affairs are settled, we should take the boat back to Poisson.
Actually, why don't we... Paimon just realized how hungry she is. She can't head back to Poisson.
It appears you two are under the impression that delaying our return will somehow alter the situation. That being said, I could be persuaded to give Linny some extra time. If you agree to my request, I'll even answer some of your questions. You're quite curious about Claire V.
Wait, why are you being so...
You overestimate yourself. You don't have the talent for bad things. The most important consideration in a negotiation is that both sides receive something wonderful. When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Heart.
Okay, sounds normal enough.
That is for you to decide. Then we have a deal. Follow me. Overruled.
this place?
Somewhere long forgotten by everyone. It used to be a grand building. Now it's nothing more than a pile of rubble. No one comes here anymore, nor does anyone care about what once happened here. Although, this place does have something to do with the story. It was before I became a Harbinger, and before Linny and the others joined the House of the Hearth. Due to certain events, I first killed Clairvy and then her mother. And
You were the one that killed Clairvy?
patience now. Allow me to explain Clairvy's side of the story first. Clairvy was 6 years old when she was brought by her mother, Crucibina, to live in the House of the Hearth. From the outside, it seemed like a fairy tale. A thriving family made up of kind adults, and Crucibina was the knave at that time, and the House of the Hearth was under her control. She was Clairvy's mother by blood, but she was also the mother to all the children in the house. Clairvy was happy here, for a time. But she quickly realized that being part of this family wasn't a fairy tale at all. It was a kind of purgatory.
Purgatory?
Exactly. The House of the Hearth takes in war orphans from all over Tevat. But as for how to raise them, that depends entirely on the person in charge. Crucibina came up with a novel idea. She would teach the children to fight, force them to duel each other, and then crown as the king of the house the child who proved themselves most worthy of inheriting her title. It's difficult to estimate the number of children who died or were maimed in the process. There's little I can say about the ones who died. The ones that emerged with permanent injuries, on the other hand, well, they would be handed over to the doctor to be experimented on, or sent away on dangerous missions. Nothing more than tools to be used and then discarded.
So those were the experiments Clairvy was talking about. You said that Clairvy was Crucibina's daughter, so if Clairvy tried to
Despite being Clairvy's mother, Crucibina cared little for her daughter. She forced Clairvy to join the House of the Hearth only as a means to demonstrate her own impartiality as a mother, to prove that she treated all her children equally. Clairvy did try to convince her mother to change her ways, but it was to no avail. After her efforts failed, the only other, of course, there was one exception. Someone Clairvy's age who knew the truth about the House of the Hearth. Her name was Peruere.
Wait, the friend that Clairvy mentioned?
Friend, huh? I suppose we can call her that for now. Clairvy was a cheerful and passionate person with a tenacious spirit. Peruere, on the other hand, was rather cold-blooded. Her cold-blooded nature allowed her to see through Crucibina's facade. Yet, it was also this cold-bloodedness that prevented her from acting against it. At least at first. While Clairvy longed for freedom, Peruere was convinced that, amid all the fighting and violence, she would make it until the end. Despite their differences, the two became fast friends, united by their knowledge of the truth. Clairvy told Peruere that she hoped to create a real family, where no one would be killed or sacrificed. There may have been a certain naivete to her ideas, but Clairvy proved her determination many times over. She tried countless times to run away, ask for help, or expose the truth. But her efforts only earned her beating after beating. The only thing that kept her going was her strength of will. Even with her body racked with pain, she would still stand on her tiptoes and open the window at night. She and Peruere would look out at the moon together, a fierce longing for freedom shining in her eyes. But one day that light simply vanished.
Oh no.
Her hopelessness resulted from a culmination of things. 10 years had passed. 10 years worth of failure after failure. She and Peruere weren't children anymore, but finding any chance to escape still seemed as hopeless as ever. It was during this time that Peruere suggested a new plan. If escaping was out of the question, Clairvy rejected that proposal. She claimed that, as a famous harbinger, Crucibina possessed an unimaginable amount of power. Trying to kill her would have an incredibly low chance of success. Clairvy never gave another reason, but Peruere could see it written all over her face. Clairvy still thought of Crucibina as her mother. Killing her own flesh and blood was a line she couldn't bring herself to cross. If she couldn't escape and fight back, then only one option remained. Precisely. Death was the only way that she felt she could be free. It happened during a duel. When she arrived at the dueling ring that day, her partner turned out to be none other than Peruere, the very person that had stood by her side all those years. It was a fierce battle. But ultimately, Clairvy decided to let Peruere. From that moment on, Peruere's journey was one written in flames. When the rain finally came and washed it all away, there she stood, the sole victor in Mother's endless game of slaughter. A trail of corpses strewn across her path to success. It was the very result she had predicted 10 years prior. Even then, she believed she would make it until the end. She was unsettled, and there was only one thing that could quell that sensation.
Crucibina, you mean?
Correct. This is the place where Peruere killed her best friend. A mere year later, this is also the place where she fought the moment she acted. Any conception of what was right or wrong ceased to matter. It's one of the principles of the Peruere won the battle, and became a harbinger herself. After which her
So the Perry Clairvy was talking about, it was you all along.
I left that name behind long ago. After I defeated Crucibina, the moniker of Mother died with her. I chose to forego the title she called herself, and even chose to give up my own name. I rebuilt the House of the Hearth under a new identity. Not only as Arlecchino, but as father. And that is where the story ends.
Yeah, based on what you just told us.
I suppose you could call her an illusion born of flame. Her existence is like ashes to a fire. Something left over in the wake of You see, a certain power runs through my veins. It's not unlike a curse. My flames leave behind shadows of anything they consume. Of course, the chances of those shadows morphing into a sentient entity are exceedingly Clairvy died when she was 16 years old. But what emerged from the flames was her 6-year-old self. Her appearance wasn't the only thing affected. Most of her memories were lost to the blazes. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self. Lose 10 years' worth, however, and it would be like living in the past. Like returning to a version of yourself that never grew up.
No wonder Paimon got such a weird feeling when we were talking to her.
Perhaps I should put it this way. Clairvy is someone trapped in time.
So if all of that is true, then...
Indeed. She's a rather volatile, but other times she would hide from me. Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Your attempts to expose Clairvy to sunlight. They failed, yes? The reason is actually quite simple, but no matter. All I have to do is kill her again, and all will be resolved. I don't anticipate—
Wait! Paimon can understand why you might want her gone, but so what if she's trapped in her 6-year-old self? She's still your friend!
It's too late for that. She broke the rules, and now she must be punished. I hope you understand. The difference between Crucibina and myself lies in our formulation of the rules, not our policy for enforcing them.
Is this really what you want to do?
Whatever could you mean?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Whether as a killer or as a father, there are two things that must be avoided at all costs: anger and sorrow. Anger makes you impulsive. Well, it appears it's about time to proceed. Before we arrived, I told some of my well-behaved children to bring our troublemaker. I do believe I've kept my end of the deal. I gave your friends quite...
Here they are, Father.
You gonna execute him? Lenny!
I'm sorry, but I still failed. I couldn't find a way to...
Huh? Are you...
Indeed, it's been a while, Clairvy.
Harry!
Shh. Stay right there. I'm sorry to postpone our reunion, but first, I believe certain scores need settled.
Father!
Out of my way.
Father!
You chose to conceal a threat to the house. And for that. Overall, however, I suppose your wrongdoing is hardly the most egregious of the bunch.
By traitors?
Father, let me explain. We didn't...
Fultz, why don't you share...
Yes, Father. Secret Midnight Meeting number 3. Participants, Filial, Nantoy, Sato, Toddy. Nantoy clearly said, if only Father wasn't the one who took us in. Sato added, I'm sick of this life. I just want... Filial was the worst of them all. She called us crazies and said a bunch of mean things about Father.
I did not! You're
It's not like I'm the only one who heard those things. After that, we're birds locked in a cage. The only way out is to destroy...
You little... You just want me gone, don't you? What did I ever do to you? And you, Sheplo?
You're wrong, Filial. We don't want you to die. You're our family.
Liar. You wouldn't...
We all live in the House of the Hearth. A single betrayal can cost dozens of us our lives. That's why the House of the Hearth cannot tolerate...
You've been spot...
Filial, I owe you both my life. I owe Clairvy too. If this were any other situation, I would do anything to repay that.
Why?
That's enough, Filial. We made a mistake. And we should own up to... I'm sorry, Sheplo.
Sheplo, according to the rules of the...
All those who betrayed...
And so it shall be.
Father! Please wait!
Something you want to say?
Please reconsider, Father. We all come from broken families. But the truth is, none of us know what a real home should look like. I'm not saying I have all the answers. All I know is this. Killing Filial and the others may uphold the rules, but doing so will only bring us further away from being a real... So please, Father.
I agree with Lenny.
Father, please.
Lenny... I also agree with
An order once given. However, given the
Our weapon...
Father, are you referring to it?
Precisely. The rule... However, resolving disputes with a duel is also one of our rules, one that also applies to me. Demonstrate a sufficient...
Impossible. Did you hear that, Traveler? Lenny and the others have to duel the knave. If they lose the...
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye?
Anger makes you impulsive.
Oh. Looking at that expression on her face, she seems really serious about this.
When guests are around, families are often on their best
When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help.
What's wrong? Traveler! Hey, where are you going?
Traveler?
You're asking to join the duel against the knave?
I'll allow it. We do have a ready-made dueling ring at our disposal. All I would advise is this. Keep a firm grasp on your weapon, and give it your all. Any less.
Laid bare.
Ha! Let's light it up! Our bond is strong. Teamwork is true.
How amusing.
Watch out for Father's movements! Midnight Venta.
Ha! Let's light it up! I'm going in! I'll settle this.
Is it my turn now? Go on.
Hang in there.
Now that's more like it. How amusing.
By royal decree. Ha! Let's light it up!
This is goat! Is it my turn?
Everybody stand!
With the fall of darkness,
Out of my way!
destruction shall rise. Have a taste of purgatory.
On for me! Ha!
Watch out for Father's movements!
How amusing. Witness my rise.
Over here! Lightning terrified!
Overruled. I really have to draw my blade. Then my turn.
On my way!
This is where we fall. And voila! Not bad. You've proven to be a worthy opponent after all. How amusing. Spare your energy. Running is of little use. Overrule the way.
By royal decree!
My blade is all that remains. Witness my rise. Trent, now's our chance.
Over here! Everybody stand back!
Let's see how strongly
Stand
resolved
with me.
truly is.
I summon! Yeah!
Watch out for Father's movements! Look out!
We go!
Oz revealed by lightning terrified!
Overruled!
Midnight Fen.
Now's our chance!
Over here!
No rest for the wicked.
This is where you
Watch out for Father's movements! Look out!
Sometimes only the You should know better than to crowd in one place.
Oh, I know.
I'm sorry, Father!
Sorry for what? This pitiful excuse for an attack.
Father, no!
Made it out, did you? You're stronger than I expected.
A crimson moon? I can't move.
Still, not strong enough to beat me. I believe we can end things here. It's not often that... Brother!
Lenny!
Given that I am the victor of this duel.
No!
I never thought things would end like this.
However, everyone involved in the duel demonstrated a remarkable level of strength and determination. In light. Elwar, the bottled flames I gave you for safekeeping.
Yes? I wasn't sure what they were for.
Wonderful.
Bottled flames?
Indeed. They're the product of a secret experiment. Under once ingested, searing pain will spread across if you can withstand the pain. When you awake, you'll in other words, administering this concoction. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed.
So, you're just...
You misunderstand. Memories are extremely important. Once consumed by flame, the version of you standing before me will die.
Even so, I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry I let you down. But I really...
Don't cry. You haven't left the house yet, so there are still rules to be followed, yes? Remember what I taught you. Anger makes you impulsive, sorrow...
Of course.
Dry your tears, and go...
Yes, Father.
Chaplot, Fultz, Elwar. I prepared 3 extra vials of bottled flames. As for whether... Goodbye, children. The next time... Thank you for all you've done.
Father.
Let's go.
Here, grab my arm, Linny.
Thank you.
Clairvy.
Can we talk now? You really are Perry, aren't you? I haven't... Wait, did I so...
Neither. You died, Clairvy. That's what happened.
You could have at least sugarcoated it a little! Look, she's not speechless! Huh? That's it? Yep. If that's what Perry... Plus, I don't really need to know why I'm like this. Can you tell me about it?
You never stopped trying to At first, no one believed you. You could only vent your frustrations to the moon. Later on, you tried to run away, but you were brought back each time. Mother spared your life. Still, you never gave up. Mother hoped that through ruthless duel after ruthless duel, she would be able to crown it. But you called on everyone to unite, to fight to a draw in order to reduce casualties. You tried everything you could think of, but every attempt ended in failure. For the last 16 years of my life, I've done everything I can to fight for freedom. But now, I realize that I
never imagined I would say something like that. I must have been feeling real, but somehow, I still think I understand. But if I could do it all over again, I still don't think I would make a different choice.
Is that so? Even now, I'm not sure I truly understand. But as the head of the House of the Hearth, and as the children's father, I've tried to give them the most basic. It's something I discussed with the Iudex of Fontaine. The children who want to leave the house will have their memories wiped clean of all secrets pertaining to the organization. In return, they will be allowed to live a normal life in Fontaine without being prosecuted for... Of course, I won't simply hand freedom to them on a silver platter. They have to fight for it and prove themselves worthy of it.
That's more than enough. You know, Perry, I think you're a pretty amazing king, and I'm really happy that you're the one who took over the house. I guess I do have one regret, though. I still haven't seen the outside world.
Well, it just so happens that our dear guests over here have been to many nations and traveled to countless...
Really? Of course! We've traveled all over... You know, I used playing the lute while singing into the winds of... Ah, that's where Mora comes from. If I had some Mora, I would buy 3. It's just too bad Perry doesn't like wearing dresses. And Mother, well, she probably would... Those yokai you mentioned, what do they look like? I once saw a drawing of this one guy with horns on his head. Oh, sounds like you're talking about an Oni. Yep, we've met one, and let Paimon tell you, they're not nearly as scary as they look. I was always too afraid to skip Mother's, but at the academia, I bet you... I'm just kidding. The situation was super dangerous. Lenny and Lynette were... Oh no. Don't worry. We were able to turn the situation around. How'd you do that? Come on, tell me.
Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any... Clairvy, you've worked tirelessly from the shadows to overthrow the House of the Hearth. Now, by my authority as the Knave, I shall announce how this matter ends. You are hereby expelled from the House of the Hearth. You are no longer tied to this place, nor are you bound by its rules.
You're saying that I can finally leave? I get to experience the outside world as well? Oh, I almost forgot. There's no getting older for me. Still, seeing who you grew up to be makes me really happy, Arlecchino. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
May we meet again someday.
Clairvy. She left so soon.
I also have certain sentiments left unsaid. I wanted to tell her that the aurora I saw in Snezhna, but a shadow's memories reset at dawn. Whatever regrets may linger.
Father?
It's Linny! Hey, Linny! What is he doing back here? Let's go check.
Father, the bottled flames have...
And you?
Thank you for giving... Lynette and Fremine feel the same way.
I'm sure you're well aware of the expectations I have for you. I want you to follow in my footsteps and become the next... I must admit, I'm rather surprised by your decision to stay. There's nothing wrong with choosing to live a quiet life.
I just... never understood.
You're brave, talented, and, most importantly, you cherish your family. You would do anything to protect them.
Speaking up back there was so brave of you, Linny. It's all—
You're a hero, Linny.
Hero? Father is the real hero. Had Father gone all out during the duel, there's no way I would have walked away with my life. I'm not deserving of that title.
You're wrong. In my opinion, all you need to be deserving of the we may have different ideas of what it means to be a family, but you can hardly be said to lack conviction. Even without that strength, you still chose to face me in a duel, even though the odds were
Father.
No one knows what the future holds, what tragedy or triumph may be in store. If reaching a certain standard were required to go after what you want, I would never have succeeded in killing my predecessor. Back then, their strength may decide the ultimate victor, but those who let a lack of strength dictate their decisions or undermine their conviction.
I understand, Father.
Children must grow up to surpass their parents. The road ahead is not an easy one.
You've done so much for me, Father, and that kindness must be protecting my family.
Then you're welcome to stay. As for Project Stuja, you need not be too concerned. If those cowardly businessmen and heartless dignitaries try to take us down, I'm prepared to teach them a lesson. Having members who longed for the light was our organization's last weakness. With those members no longer among our ranks, the House of the Hearth is like a... At present, Our imperative is to use their plan to our advantage. In doing so, a crimson moon shall rise amid the frigid blizzards of winter. No demonstration of loyalty shall go unrewarded. As for the two of you, whether we meet again as friend or foe, I'll remember the camaraderie we shared in this moment, no matter how arduous the journey ahead. I hope we both reach our desired.
Didn't Lenny say that Lynette and Lynette? Fremine? How are you feeling?
Much better.
Whew,
What about you? Are you feeling alright?
I knew you'd come out unscathed. Us on the... Oh, and Linny and the other members have left Poisson and returned to the House of the Hearth. According to him...
I see.
I'm glad. Father came to check up on us 2 days ago and told us about what happened with...
Wait, what?
Crusabina died a year after Clairvy. It was during the year between their deaths that I joined the House of the Heart. Crusabina had an extremely cruel and radical way of doing things. When I joined, though, the experiment she valued so much had already come. A couple of months after I joined, Father killed Crusabina and burned all her files. With that, the names of all the people subjected to her experiments, Clairvy included, were lost to the flames.
Father took in Lenny and me a couple months after that, but she never...
The last time you talked to her, did she mention why she kept it?
She said she didn't want us to be affected by the darkness of the past. She was worried the foundation of a family should... And that's what Father...
But I still think if Father hadn't taken over the House of the Hearth,
Father rarely brings up the fact that she saved us, but even if we didn't owe her anything, we would still choose to stay. We may have arguments or times when we feel wronged. Some people may...
Whether the path before us, so I wanted to say thank...
Oh, we didn't do anything. We were...
Of course.
I actually saw... They didn't recognize me. From what they seemed happy.
Yeah.